and anxiety, but the children, they're very happy and careless. And that's why Krishna says also, Prabhupada quotes this, Sarvadam Parichadam Amikam Saram Pujya Aham Svam Samapapiyo Vibhyo Moksha Isham Masucha, that just give up all kinds of religions and say, to me, I shall protect you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Krishna says, don't fear. That should be the thing. We can surrender, and there's no fear. We don't have any worries. We can surrender. Krishna takes complete care, and nothing to it. But of course, in order to do that, all doubts have to be completely eradicated. If we have some doubts, that actually will keep us from surrendering to Krishna. So this is why this is it's a good question here. Maharaj Pariksit says this is a cause of great doubt. This if it actually is so or not. As we said yesterday, probably it's not so much doubt. But anyway, it's for many it is a great doubt. Actually, if God is partial or impartial, then but if He's partial, then I cannot completely trust Him, and therefore I cannot surrender completely. And so doubts can be like that. They can keep us, and they do keep us from completely surrendering, because we think, well, I surrender, but then what? What if so happens, and what will be of me if I completely surrender, or something like that? And then one will not surrender, and then one will not get the complete protection of Krishna, because it's a reciprocal thing. That's a point. Krishna's equal treatment is available for everyone, but it's according to how we surrender. Krishna is reciprocated. As they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. And Krishna says, Samoham Sarvabhuteshu Navedveshu Napriyaha Eva Jantitumam Bhajya Maititeshu Chapyaham. That I'm equal to all, and I'm not partial to anyone, I'm not envious of anyone, I'm not partial to anyone. But then he says, but then one who is my devotee, he gets special treatment. My devotee, but he who is my devotee, he is in me, and I'm also in him. It completely changes. Krishna is very partial to his devotees. He's impartial to everyone. To devotees, he's particularly partial. So that seems again somewhat contradiction, but that's not. Prabhupada says that's natural. Krishna has a different relationship with the devotees. It's like some big man. He can be very charitable in general to the general mass of people and like that, but to his own children he has a special relationship, because it's his children. It's very close, and it's a complete different dynamic that's operating there. So Krishna is very partial to his devotees, and will actually do anything to protect his devotees, even being partial, to break his partiality, to break his impartiality in relation to non-devotees, and he can interfere for the benefit of his devotee. Krishna broke the promise when Arjuna was being threatened by being killed by Bhishma. And Krishna had taken the vow, I will not fight on the battle of Kurukshetra. I'll simply be a chariot driver from whoever wants me as a chariot driver, but I will not take up weapons and fight. So Krishna, he broke that promise on the battlefield of Kurukshetra for the sake of his devotees. Krishna would do break any principles and so on to protect his devotees. So that's some of the little, mystery about Krishna's, the real beautiful side of Krishna's impartiality is that he's partial to the devotees. So try to understand that. And but to become devotees is open for everyone. Krishna is inviting, come and get special protection, come and get special partial treatment from me. You simply just surrender to me completely, and I'll take care, and you'll always be, you'll be the most close dear friend of mine. if you surrender unto me. But I said, all doubts have to be gone. If any doubts, you have to give them up. They have to be, and then, of course, and that's why you present them. I have this and this doubt, and then let's discuss it. Why is it a reasonable doubt? We should not be afraid of having doubts. I mean, we should be afraid of doubts. We should get rid of all doubts, but we should not be afraid of expressing our doubts. And okay, so let's discuss it. That's actually the process. Sometimes, I've sometimes seen someone. It's not Prabhupada's mood at all, or Saraswati's mood, or actually the mood that I joined in. There actually we were any kind of doubt, any kind of criticism like that. We had it up, and sometimes they were real doubts. Sometimes also it was just mock fighting. One took the position. Amongst the brahmacharis, he was a demon, he was a scientist, he was a Christian, he was someone, and then there was fighting for, mock fight, discussion, forth and back, this argument, that argument, and like that. It's actually part of a process. Bhakti Saraswati, when he would lecture, he would present the Krishna conscious position, then he would give the complete opposite, the critique, the very, the opponent's position presented in its best, strongest, not a caricature of that, but actually the opposing argument presented in the best, manner possible. Then he would do that, and then he would defeat that afterwards. That's powerful, and and we should, that's actually that can defeat doubts. Not that we're not allowed to discuss doubts, or we should, if you express doubts, then we become defensive. Sometimes there's some, among some people have, you shouldn't come out with doubts. This is offensive like that. No, that's wrong. And that kind of movement just means everyone keeps their doubts within themselves. You externally pretend that you are, completely surrender and you convince them like that. But when their doubts are growing, or like small fires burning, it just increase more and more, and can destroy one's spiritual life. We have to be afraid of doubts. We should bring them out. We should reveal them. And actually, we should even make a challenge. If someone can defeat the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, then I will give up Krishna consciousness. Or if someone can present a better philosophy, okay, I'll accept that. Why not? Because that's actually how rational people think. We will only accept what is actually correct truth like that. We not, have a show where we just pretend we believe something but actually we don't believe. So if someone can have an actually better suggestion than Krishna conscious philosophy, Vedic philosophy, fine, I'll embrace that. That should be actually, if we have questions and we can actually not get proper answers to them, then actually there's something wrong with this philosophy here, and we should not accept it. Maybe we cannot always find a person who's able to present it properly, but we find someone like, maybe say like Sugar Goswami is maybe a little exaggerated, but someone who's a realized person that should be realized. If this process actually works, it should create realized persons. It means actually these should be those who have the realization to actually explain all points of philosophy and to counter all kinds of doubts. If that's not there, then the process doesn't work. It's not that. This Krishna consciousness process is meant to make perfect people. Sometimes some philosophy arises that there's only Prabhupada was perfect at Uttamarikari and on the highest level, and there will never be anyone on his level. No, there will not be anyone on his level, but there will still be others, constantly becoming realized and perfect and so on. To explain the philosophy in a realized way, that's not an impossible level to. And I know many people who can be they actually know what they're talking about. They're realized it's not a rare thing. Of course, it's special, but it's not. And it should be there. And if we can, and if actually someone is actually on a very high level and cannot get a proper answer to that, to a particular question like that, then actually you probably should get up the process and find somewhere you can get the proper answer. Everything should be rational. Prabhupada says, religion without philosophy is sentimentalism. We have to get above the level of sentimentalism. We have to, based on rational discussion and all doubts, that should be properly cleared away so we can complete the surrender. As long as we're on this sentimental platform, we will not surrender completely. We will remain neophytes. And we have to, we meant to come to a higher level. We actually surrender complete faith. We should have so much faith in Krishna, just like maybe one of you, were you playing this when you were children, that one person would stand and just fall back, and then another would be there behind and grab. It takes a lot of faith. I couldn't play it. I didn't have that faith. I could, when they caught me this year, but when I came down here, I couldn't come down here. If we caught like that, maybe others could. But that's actually how the faith we should have in Krishna. We should just be willing to just let fall and be complete confident Krishna will catch us. That's actually the faith we should have. And he does. He's complete. Krishna is completely reliable. But for us to experience that, we have to develop a complete faith. Therefore, all doubts they have to be gone, they have to be cleared. So I don't know if you have any questions. Do you have any doubts? You have doubts? No, I don't believe you have doubts.
It seems that this is like condemned position of conditioned soul, that we can we are either in this one extreme that we are overly proud, or in another extreme we are overly humble, and we are actually this is the quite same thing, right?
Mm.
So how actually to be in this be in the same time think of self-love, think of self that we are fallen, but in the same time not be too much proud about.
Yeah, how? All questions of how can we, they have one answer, and that is just continue. Follow the process strictly, and it means, the whole process, that we're doing, following sadhana, giving up, and practicing, serving devotees, and like that, and go on. And many anarthas will come up during that, and they'll seem like doubts, and they'll, how can we, seems impossible to, balance this. This from book distribution. We go out, we distribute books, and then something nice happens. I say something fantastic, and someone takes a book, and next one takes a book, and next one takes a book, and then we become, suddenly we become proud, and then the whole thing, we lose everything, and we go on and on until then we finally start waking up, and we become humble and praying, Krishna, help me, I'm so useless like that. And then suddenly again, Krishna, he gives some power, and then again we then become proud again, and Krishna withdraws like that. This is a constant game. I have no idea how long it will go on, because it's still going on for me. But then again, now it's one somehow or other the anarthas are getting washed away, and one falls into a natural humble position, not humble in a self-centered proud way, but you're just naturally humble and happy being humble, but then again you're very bold on Krishna's behalf. So it's very much something to do with just continue, and purification will take place. We will actually find our real natural self, in Krishna consciousness. But then also, our situation is something like you have a little dog which is on the leash of a big master. Sometimes you have two dogs, a very big dog, ferocious dog that doesn't have a master, and you have a little tiny dog that has a master. And then the little dog, but on the street, and the little dog meets the big dog, and the little dog just barks and yells at the big dog, and the big dog runs away. And the little dog is completely fearless, although it's a joke, But the little dog is fearless because my master is there. He knows if the big dog does something, then the master will chase him away. And therefore he's completely fearlessly barking at the big dog. It's a little ridiculous, but that's, so the little dog, he knows I'm a little dog, but I know I have a big master, therefore I can be completely fearless and bold and bark at all the big dogs. I'm not afraid of the big dogs because I have a good master. So something like that. We have to be Krishna conscious. It really is. It is. Pride comes when we forget Krishna. When we remember Krishna, then we don't become artificially humble. We just normal. Understand Krishna is very big, I'm small, and that's this is how it is.
Try.
Yeah, it's not easy.
You talked about this coming under like the protection of the internal potency where Krishna, he can just act through us, and that's like very much like based on just like our consciousness and our humility like that, and our Krishna consciousness of course. But I'm thinking like also like it's not just about like it's like also like if we like push it more and try, for example, in book distribution to be out many hours every day, that's like we try to just be more in the street in order to do more. But that's not really like, I was just a little confused about this like surrender and coming under control of the internal potency. That's internal, and then you have the external being like doing the extra outward endeavor. So could you maybe clarify that a little bit?
But external potency is also potency that comes according to karma.
Yeah.
So when we were working on the external potency, then we have a certain karma. Then we have once we are doing what we would do anyway. We have the abilities we would have anyway. And in terms of book distribution, some have actually the karma that is favorable even for sometimes distributing some books. They're more outgoing, have sense for dealing with people, and maybe a good salesman or something like that. And others don't. So there you see, so that the actually one's karma means something. When the internal energy, one gets under the influence of the internal energy takes over, then karma doesn't matter anymore. And you can, ability that completely exceeds, you never imagined were there, and you don't have, but you don't have that. It's Krishna's abilities going through him, through one, independent or irrespective of one's past karma. And that's why, under the internal energy, then the blind can see stars in the sky, and the dumb man, he can speak like a great orator. And we some know that sometimes happens, when we, and Krishna does give us glimpses when we do directly engage in this direct preaching service and try to be instruments for bringing others to Krishna consciousness, even though we're full of ego and like that. But Krishna is so happy with that we just attempt or something like that. So even in glimpses, sometimes we say, we have a fantastic ability to convince or attract people. What we say, even say same thing to all say, something it is so attractive and charming and innocent and like that. People's hearts just melt when they hear us. same energy, internal energy, external energy are the same. It's Maya. It's the same yoga Maya, but it acts differently sometimes. It acts as yoga Maya, internal energy, sometimes as Maha Maya, as external energy. And the external external energy is complete according to karma. Still, ability, all inspiration has to come from Krishna. There's no one doesn't come from anywhere else. But there it's according to you have this material ability according to material karma, and this is what you can do, nothing more. And when it's internal energy, one just surrenders, and then incredible things happen. There's no limits. There's no limit for internal energy.
But if we endeavor externally, like for example, we choose to try to surrender more,
Yeah, what else can you do?
Yeah. That's
our part. We endeavor more, we try more. It's external, it's external like that. We have to endeavor, and if we endeavor more, then Krishna maybe also reciprocates more. Maybe not. But our thing is we surrender more, we endeavor more, and then and Krishna, he will reciprocate. And then if you think that by, okay, I can surrender so much more, therefore Krishna, he must reciprocate. I endeavor double, Krishna must reciprocate double. So that doesn't work. It's one surrenders more, and then prays helplessly to Krishna, please, use me more. But no, it's up to you. It's complete mercy, but I cannot buy you. You're not for sale. I know that. From one is aware that Krishna is not for sale. You cannot buy him with anything. But it's just pray, I would like to be able to do more. Please give me a mercy and then he will be able to do more. And I'll endeavor more. And then please somehow give me a mercy. That's something like that. Everyone else left. You understand? It's really getting boring now. So, yeah, 7 dagen som gik, 7 dagen.